Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Strain coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And tonight is the last of the 2012 US MREs that Aletha gave me. And this is a menu that I am not familiar with. I don't know if anyone else has done it. I really haven't looked for any reviews of this particular menu. I'm sure someone has, I just haven't seen it. But this is a menu 21. This is chicken breast fillet seasoned garlic and herb seasonings. So they really went to a lot of verbiage on this one. This one was packed by Warnick. And I don't know if this happened in storage or in transit, but it's just a little damage to the corner of the bag. But there is no date code on the Warnick bags, but I can tell, even if I didn't know the pack year, I can tell that it is an older one because I can actually feel the box. I can feel 2 boxes in there. So there are 2 items in here that are in a box. So let's see if this peelable seal will cooperate. I got water on the stove coming up to a boil. Well, this one is actually opening very well. I did not have to get drastic with it. Well, maybe it wasn't 2 boxes. It just felt like 2 boxes. But I'll go ahead and start taking everything out. Baked snack crackers cheddar. Well, these were Cheez-Its, but it's basically crumbles. So they took a bit of a hit. Wow, carrot pound cake. Let's see, you got Pete, got Mike, DeCarlos, and those are all the people that I see in here so far. Oh, nope, there is, oh, Blind Fox, wow. First time seeing you here. That's got to be pretty darn early in the morning for you. Over there in South Africa. So, thanks for dropping in. I hope you enjoyed my stream. Smoked almonds. You don't get very many almonds. I think that's a more expensive nut. So here is... Well, this has a date code of 3004. So maybe this is a 2013. Let's look at dates on 2263 on this one. That's okay, you know, I hope you enjoy it. This one is 2391, so this is a 2013 instead of a 2012, so this might have been from another case that she had. And this is an accessory pack that you would find in a halal MRE or in, I don't know, but it doesn't have a spoon in it. And the moist towelette, the writing is black instead of blue. So this is different. And 2353 is a date called on this. So there's something different about this accessory pack that I had not seen before. Usually these long ones are in halal MREs or in some of the civilian MREs. It's got tortillas, and this just says tortillas. It does not say plain. In the other ones, apparently these came out before they started putting in the chipotle tortillas. There is Wyoming in the house. Thanks for dropping in. .2285 is the date code on this one. fat-free mayonnaise. And here's a spoon that is in a, it feels like a thinner version of this type of packaging, not the more crinkly stuff that you would find in MREs today. Chocolate dairy shake powder. So this and then the last thing that's in here is the box for the main itself. Chicken breast fillet, seasoned with garlic and herb sauce. No FRH. So this one was intended to be eaten cold like the chunk chicken or the tuna. 2356 is a date code on this one. Spicy tuna rolls is here. But I'm actually going to heat the chicken. So this is kind of like the two-tone retort. I don't know how well it shows, but this is a slightly darker shade than this side. But this pouch looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't see any delamination or anything like that. Just some impressions of the other items that were pressed against it. Now we'll open up this accessory pack. Just going to move these so this is the thin stick drink, the raspberry. These are the sugar-free kind. And that takes, these are meant for a larger volume of water, but I just do it in my drinking jar. There is Fat Man Prepper in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Got the old rear roll. That's what I call these things. See the moist towelette. Now you're more familiar with the blue writing. This is that same style, but it's black or almost brown. And you got the usual gum. Then this has a packet of salt. Salt-free seasoning blend. So no hot drink, but I got my for an MRE mug and I want a hot drink and I got water on the boil for that, but I can easily take care of that. So I have an extra let's see. I think it's time to take out some trash. There you go. Hide that bugger. And report it. If you're not a mod, you can still report. And because this person was already hidden, I still reported it. So yeah. There we go. I just did another little thing. I wanted to do that real quick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the water because I want to heat this up, and I will lay the tortillas on my stop next to the burners. Not on one, obviously, but next to it because the stove top itself has heat from the burners. And so this will warm these up. And then I will also get me a coffee or some other hot drink, and I'll be right back. I went and got me a coffee. I just got this deep rich that I want to get rid of. To me, it's neither deep nor rich, but and as always, I use the ration bag as my trash. And grab me a packet of my sweetened condensed milk. I'm just going to squeeze this whole thing in there. Because I like my coffee. And because I have that dairy shake, I'm going to get some more water. Because my 500 ml bottle that I got just out of view is not going to be enough. There we go. That'll take care of sweetened condensed milk. Oh, that didn't rip right. Let me do that again. There we go. These stick drinks mix a whole lot faster and easier than the ones that have real sugar. Let's see, James Ortiz is here. There is Aletha. Now this MRE is a 2013 and not a 2012 because the almonds have a pack date of 2013. Now, when I go get the water for the coffee, I'm going to bring back another water bottle for. See, there's a pack date on the almonds. But I'll bring back some more water, and then we'll do the dairy shake because I only have maybe like 3 ounces. And this calls for 6 ounces, so I'll be right back. I didn't want to give you a steam bath, so that's why I kind of poured it half off camera. Mike, did you notice that I modified you? I hope you don't mind. Sometimes these shaker bags can be a bugger to open, but this opened up pretty nicely. I'm going to take a flashlight, look down in there at the powder. Don't know how well you can see that. That probably look funky on your screens because of the way my lighting is. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this in the bag. There is a lot of powder in these things, so I didn't put the whole 6 ounces because this bottle holds 9 ounces. You got to shake the living crap out of these things when you mix it in the bag itself. In fact, I'm just going to let it sit in there like that. I have another glass here. I have this thing. I bought it at Walmart several years ago. It's an Ozark Trail insulated cup thing without a handle. So I just grabbed that. I've never used that before, so I made sure that it was clean. So now that I got that mixed, let's see what this powder looks like. Let's see who else is here. Rachel Sunshine is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. There's no tear notch on the side, but if you see the way this looks, you can find a way to actually rip that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cut this thing open. Grab that oxygen absorber. Now these Cheez-Its really did not make it as far as staying whole. It's a carrot pound cake. This would be good with that cream cheese icing. Ooh, smells like a good spice cake. Peel that oxygen absorber off. I'm going to put that right there. And it came clean out of the pouch. It feels like some of the oil that is in that kind of rose to the surface. So that's the bottom side. This is the top side. And you can see where the oxygen absorber was. I'm going to put the almonds right down here. See, these are well vacuum sealed. They held their vacuum. I was trying to get a hiss, but I don't think that worked. So there are the smoked almonds. Let's see what this stuff looks like. Is it going to be drinkable? It smells kind of odd. We'll pour it anyway. There is Carla in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm just going to take the rest of the water that's in my camo bottle and put this in here to mix out. I'm just going to roll it, give it another shake. And I'm going to call it good. Shove that away. Outside of the pouch, it smells a lot better than it smelled inside the pouch. Well, I am going to go get the tortillas and the chicken, and I'll be right back. I am back with the chicken and the tortillas. I just use this thing to carry the hot stuff back. And I get a paper towel to dry it off so I can handle it. Get that out of the way. The tear notch goes across this way. This thing is probably going to be fairly juicy, I can tell. A couple little bits of the chicken that didn't come out, but I get them out with my foreign MRE spork. See, the chicken started to break up, so it's very soft. And for those that have just come in, this is a 2013. I'll correct the stream title later when I go back to add this to my Ration playlist. So this is a chicken breast fillet. They got a little wordy on this one. This is packed by Warnick. So no date code on the outside of this one. And the almonds have a date code of 2013. So the first digit is a 3. I'll go ahead and open the tortillas. See how they held up. oxygen absorber remain behind. So these actually look a lot better than the newer tortillas, although it is starting to split from being folded for so long. But these tortillas actually look more appetizing than the newer ones. So this chicken shreds very easily. It's actually, it does taste like it's seasoned. And you can see the specks. I don't know. I'll lift the tray so if you can see those specks on there. I don't know if you can or not, but that is the seasoning that's on the chicken. But there is a lot of the broth in here. But it's actually not too bad. I suppose the soldier in the field would have shredded this and mixed it with this mayonnaise. And basically made a wrap out of it. There is one whole Cheez-It. That one actually tastes pretty decent. Tastes like an old Cheez-It. I'm not getting any pasty feeling, no rancidity, although it does almost taste like vinegar instead of just cheddar, but they're still perfectly edible, but they're just so crumbled. There is Adam. Welcome. Thanks for dropping in. First time seeing you here, so I hope you enjoy it. This I thought it was 2012, but this is a 2013 MRE. I'm gonna give you a close look at one of the smoked almonds. You can see the powder on my fingers. The seasoning and the flavoring that's added. That artificial liquid smoke type flavor. But other than that, the nut tastes like an almond should. It doesn't taste like it's gone bad. I'm going to take a little nip off of this tortilla. That still tastes fine. Actually, that tastes better than the newer tortillas. The raspberry drink. This drinking jar holds about 13 ounces of water. I was just looking at the chat, see what the Carlos is talking about. Apparently someone has some crazy antics going on. But these tortillas are actually really good. I'm going to put some of the chicken in it without the mayonnaise because I'm not too sure how the mayonnaise would be. Now this tortilla is already starting to break, so I'm just going to lay that down like that. This is a carrot cake. And you might be able to see bits of the carrot in there, like right there, like little specks of carrot. The dark streak, I think, is the spices. And there is nuts in here. But I'm not getting that numbness from the nut, whatever nut that is. I think it's walnut. But that carrot cake tastes pretty darn good. Now this is the thing I'm kind of curious about. Yes, I licked a spork. But I didn't taste anything funky off of it. This is not a protein shake. It's just like a regular milkshake type of thing, but it tastes fine. It just smelled weird and the powder smelled weird in the pouch before I mixed it. Cheese spread would have been nice to have with this. Either instead of the Cheez-Its or along with the Cheez-Its. But why they put all this excess broth in here, there's so much of it. I mean, this chicken is swimming in it. I suppose it helps with, if you shred it up, it will counter any dryness that there may be in the chicken. Yeah, this shreds really easily. I agree about those extra toasty Cheez-Its. Those are pretty darn good. Now this tortilla is just going to split, so I'm not even going to bother trying to make a wrap with it. Now that's my heater. I have a combination air conditioner heater. It's a window unit but mounted in the wall. And when it's on the heat mode, it goes on and off. I'm dipping the tortilla in the broth. Just for the sheer heck of it. Try to soak some of it up. But yeah, it does that once in a while with the way I got it set. I have it on that money saver mode or energy saver mode or whatever it is. And I only got it set to 64. So its thermostat will kick it on if the temp it senses goes below 64, and then it goes off. It turns itself off when it hits 64. So that's the way I got it. I got it set. Yes, I'm doing this. I want to see if I can get some of these Cheez-It crumbles to soak up some of the broth. I'm going to put some more down here. Just for the heck of it. That'll definitely make it a little saltier because of the salt from the crackers. But I get the cheese flavor that to me would go well with the chicken. I like the raspberry strength, mix it this strength. There, for an MRE, Art and Nina in the house dropping that super chat and saying hello. Thanks for dropping in. (2013) menu 21. And thanks for sending those awesome mystery boxes. And I can't believe this is the second time I got the $50 one out of one of those things. That's crazy. Of course, I get those more for all the yummies inside than the cash prize, but Having that extra 50 is pretty sweet. And I would love to see who got the other 50. That would be awesome. And just as good getting my favorite DAF main in there, the Salmon Paella. I'm going to throw a few more Cheez-It crumbles in there. I really enjoyed the Salmon Paella the last time I had it. And to get it again is pretty darn cool. And speaking of DAF rations, Michael Green Reviews over on the other side of the pond, he put up a video of the DAF pasta and pomodoro sauce, and he's gonna use his spork, the DAF green spork, out of that one in his camping gear. That is supposed to be grill marks on the chicken, those dark lines. This chicken does not need either of these. But I've saved these. The salt-free seasonings. I got bags that I keep these things in, and I save them either to put in my camping food bag, or I can put it in my food bag that I have in my bug out bag, or my get home bag. So I hold on to those things. That's okay, Carla. I'll eat the salmon for you. Those DAF sporks are, they feel like the same quality as Light My Fire plastic sporks. I have 3 of those Light My Fire sporks, and I found all 3 of them at a thrift store. I'm just going to use this tortilla to kind of soak up the rest of that. See right there, it didn't all quite mix in, but that's okay. But this dairy shake, this chocolate shake, tastes pretty darn good. Oh, that sounds good, Carla. I haven't had empanadas for quite some time. I'm in an EDC Facebook group. It's actually for Olites. And someone posted a picture of a nice big old bowl of Vietnamese pho. Spelled P-H-O, but pronounced pho. At least that's the best I can approximate it. But, oh man, did that pho look good. That makes me want to go to an Asian restaurant that's not all that far from where I live. Go in there and order a big old bowl of pho. And I'll tell you, when Fonz gives you a bowl of pho or any other soup, you get a bowl of it. Talking that wide and about that deep. I cannot eat a full bowl of that soup in one sitting. I can eat half of it, even if I don't eat anything else. Half of one of their bowls fills me up, and I have to ask for a container to take the rest home. Yeah, some can be very spicy, especially if you get into like Szechuan style of Chinese food can be very, very spicy. There's some other Asian foods that can be very spicy, and then there are others that are not so much. I don't know the names of a lot of other Vietnamese foods, but I have had some that are not so spicy. Yep, Dollar Tree here in Iowa, they're $1.25. I have not been inside of a Dollar Tree in quite some time. I should probably go there. Maybe I should take that $50 that I got from foreign MRE and go into a Dollar Tree and see what I can haul out. And of course, I wouldn't just buy any old thing. I would buy stuff that I can add to my preps. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. This is at Deep Rich, so I did not put in as much water as I normally do. I do an instant coffee. Yeah, tamales is very labor intensive, just like pierogi. That cake is a bit dry. But it's still good. Now, years ago, I made pierogi for a large group, and I got my mom's recipe, and I jacked it up to serve 250, and I had 9 other people helping me, and I'll tell you, by the time we got, there was even a Catholic priest in there helping me do it, and I'll tell you, by the time we were done, his black shirt wasn't. I mean, we took every inch of counter space in that kitchen to roll out the noodle dough and to form the individual pierogis before putting them into the big pots to boil and then transferring them to a big roaster pans to take to the event site. But we had a good time making them, and they're very popular at the event. But I think just like a tamales, you can probably doctor it up any way you want if you want to maybe add a little extra flavor. In my pierogis, I sauteed, lightly brown the onions before combining with the potatoes. The mashed potatoes. So we boiled and mashed the potatoes instead of using instant because I wanted to be authentic. So these are egg noodle dough pierogi, and so sautéed onions with salt and pepper, mixed with the real mashed potatoes, and then put inside the egg noodle dough. And then we used melted butter to seal the edges, and then boiled them. And then when we put them in the roasters for transport to the event site, we sprinkled Parmesan cheese on them. And then when we were getting ready to serve, warming them up, we put a little bit more melted butter and Parmesan cheese on them. And I'll tell you, they were a hit. No, but James, if that is a food that you really like to eat, it is always good to have a backup plan. I have a few cans of tamales in my stash. I don't have the space to actually try to make them. I have never made tamales, but I have had the authentic tamales. Years ago, I haven't had them in a long time, but they were very, very delicious. There's Huga Homestead in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This has been a 2013 US MRE Menu 21. This did not come with a flameless ration heater. It came with salt-free seasoning and a packet of salt, go figure. And the fat-free mayonnaise, which I did not open because I am not too sure about this one. It feels like a normal pack. It sounds quite loose in there. It doesn't feel like it's ready to explode. But I chose to heat up the chicken. And it came with tortillas. And those tortillas actually tasted a lot better than the newer ones. Yeah, I'm sure the Walmart that I go to probably has them, the frozen tamales. But I normally don't hit up the frozen food section a lot because I have only the freezer that's on top of my fridge. And I have that thing loaded. I have, I just have some meats in there. I have room in there now for a few more frozen items that I'd pick up, but usually that's just like a single meat thing, like ground beef, ground lamb, ground turkey, or my beef bacon, things like that. Maybe once in a while I'll come home with the steaks, and a couple weeks ago I did cook those steaks that I had. What I did is I actually fried both of them. I ate one that night, and then I ate the other one the next night. I just heated that up in the microwave. Actually put a little butter on it before I heated it up in the microwave. And that's how I ate the second steak. But I have some blocks of butter in there in my freezer. I keep all my freezer packs in there. That way, should my power go out, I could transfer a couple of those to the fridge, but also the way my fridge is, and it still works, by the way, even though it's a very old one. At the back of the top shelf, I have some bottles filled with water because that part is the coldest part of the fridge. They actually freeze solid, and so they serve as my backup ice packs for the fridge. So that helps keep my food colder. And when the derecho hit us 2 years ago, the August of 2020, that's how my food stayed colder. Was I had all that my freezer packs in the freezer, plus the bottles that were full of water that are frozen in my fridge. And the only time I opened the fridge was to get some deer meat that I cooked outside on my deck with a can of carrots. I used my Pocket Rocket knockoff to do that. And then I got my ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and some milk. And I made up some mango lassi with a can of mango puree. I mixed that up and I put that in the freezer. And it kept that cold until after the power back on, came back on, and then I drank it. Or ate it like ice cream if it actually froze. Oh, Mike, that will taste delicious if if you roast it. Or you slow cook it. I like to, I have a small crock pot, and that comfort food challenge recipe I did with the goat meat that I bought from Hillel specifically for that. That fell right off the bone because I cooked it low and slow. It didn't bother me that I didn't win, plus when she did the cook-off, I would have had to either push up my stream forward in order to participate. But I did it more just for the fun of it and just to show what you can do. Oh, that'll make it easier. Although, when you do get it with the bone, you get that extra flavor from the bone. Munching on the almonds. But that's, and of course I chose to do a video on the grilled cheese sandwich that I would have done had I been in that cook-off. Some of my beef bacon got a little overcooked, but I didn't care. I enjoyed it. Yep. It's a little more work to get them to get the bone out after you've cooked it, but I just like the extra flavor that it gives. And when I go to Hillel to get the meats that I usually like to get, the halal meats, I can get beef that way, I can get lamb that way. Yep. Yeah, bone broth. I don't know what the difference is between like a bone broth and a regular meat stock. I don't know if the bones are treated differently before boiling or what. Now, the Gyro Slices are the ones that you usually get in a restaurant or you buy in a store. It's a compressed, formed meat slab that is cut into thin slices. It's not like a real shawarma, but it's like a combination of beef and lamb. So you get some of the fat from the beef, and it's in really thin slices that are almost as thin as a tortilla. And when I worked at a Greek restaurant years ago, we went through big boxes of those, especially when we had what we called the Euro Wednesday, and we would serve them on paper plates because it was all you can eat. And we were cranking them buggers out like crazy on Wednesdays. That was for the lunchtime crowd. But people would buy orders of them to go as well as to eat there in our small dining room, because that was basically a little hole in a wall joint. And we would serve them on foam plates because we just didn't have enough dishes to keep cycling them through. And because I had 3 jobs basically going when I was there. King Poobah is here. Thanks for dropping in. You know, I was the dishwasher. I was a salad person. I would serve up the baklava and sometimes a cheesecake. Sometimes I would even dish up the soup. We had 2 soup crocks going all the time. So if I didn't have enough dishes for a full load, and I had to wash them by hand because we didn't have a dishwasher, and if someone needed a drink or a soup or a dessert, then I would knock that out. So I was pretty much the gopher of the place, because I would go for here, go for that. The only thing I really didn't do was actually pour the alcohol. I mean, I was old enough, but I left that to the servers to get the wine or the ouzo and the beer. Now I would fill pop or soda orders from our soda fountain, and I was the one who changed the tanks when they would get low if no one else had the time to do it, but I did. But until 2 guys took over from the original owner, I really enjoyed working there. You know, the original owner gave me the keys so I could go in there early, make a fresh batch of tzatziki sauce. I would cut the lettuce, cut the tomatoes for the salad. I would get my salad station stocked up on the olives, the pepperoncinis, and the feta. Make sure I had the dressing, so I did that. I checked the soda tanks and changed them out if necessary. Yeah, I would do some other prep stuff, before anyone else got there. I've never had any of those kinds of meats, so I'm not familiar with them. But I'm assuming antelope would be kind of like venison. I really love venison. My sisters don't like it. My brother does because he hunts. He's down in Arkansas, so he can hunt on his own land. My mom does. So it's hard to satisfy our taste for venison, except Tack from AOK Foraging and Adventures. If I'm going camping with her, what she does is she brings some extra venison for me to give to my mom. So that actually helps us help my mom be prepared with a little extra protein. Now she has no other income but Social Security, and she has some higher expenses that I don't have. But one of my sisters will do her grocery shopping for her. I've tried to get her to apply for food assistance and for the senior commodity foods distributions, but she's not done that. I've given her the forms a couple of times. I think getting that would really help her out. That way she could, if she gets even a little food assistance on a SNAP card, then that would allow her to spend some of her Social Security on something else that she would need. I don't know about Sambuca because that's, being a Muslim, I don't bother with alcohol. I will not keep any alcohol, any drinkable alcohol in my apartment. The only thing I would do in regards to alcohol is if I pick up an alcohol drink container that I can turn in for a nickel, I'll do that. Laying on the side of the road or in the park. I'll take it home, wash it out, and the next time I go into a store to turn in a bunch of cans and bottles, I do that, and I request that money be given to me in quarters. That way, if I can't use my laundry app to pay for my laundry when I'm doing my laundry, I can use those quarters. Let's see what Pete said. Well, I'll keep isopropyl alcohol. I have a few bottles of the 91%. I have the 70%. You know, it's good to have a mix. You know, both of them are good for sanitation or medical purposes. And, you know, that's why I keep it. And, of course, even though it's sooty, because I've done that, I put 91% alcohol in my homemade alcohol stove. And it made my my canteen cup super sooty, and it was very hard to clean off. So then I heard about the yellow bottle heat, spelled H-E-E-T, that you would normally put in your vehicle gas tank to help your the gas in your engine work better, I guess, in the cold. That burns cleaner. It doesn't make your pot so sooty. So I have some of that, and I even put some of that fingernail polish remover in my alcohol stove and burnt that, because that actually worked as a fuel. It's not as good as the heat, but it does work. There is Tina in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yep. You caught me live, but I have eaten most of the food. I have the Cheez-Its were crumbled straight out of the bag. This is a carrot pound cake with nuts, but the nuts have not gone rancid, so I'm eating this pound cake. It is dry though, but it is very, very edible. This is a 2013 Menu 21. Smoked almonds. They're still very good. This is a chocolate protein, or not a protein, it's a chocolate dairy shake. And I thought it was going to be a bit sketchy when I first opened the pouch to mix it, but once I got it out of the pouch, it's perfectly fine. And these things are just so hard to make. This is a raspberry drink. And this one came without coffee, so I just grabbed my own coffee. Just so I could have a coffee, because, you know, when I'm doing these streams, I like to have a coffee, even though normally I only drink coffee the first part of the day, and then I drink hot tea the rest of the day in winter. In summer, I drink a lot of cold tea. Oh, yeah, Pete. So you would have an easier time to go out to camp because you can drive. I have to have a driver, because I do not know of a place in the city where I can go by bus to go somewhere camp where I wouldn't get in in trouble or arrested for, you know, maybe camping like a homeless person. I don't want to take that risk. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you drove. But yeah, if you can get out of the city. Now, I know for sure I'm going to be going camping again in March, and it will be the same place where I was at in November on a friend's property. I don't know if we're going to be in the same area or if we're going to try a different area. That would be the first trip that I know of. There may be another one in the works. We'll just have to work that out with the person who would be my driver for that one. And then on the Facebook, I commented that, you know, when one of the guys from Corn Fed Experience, another Iowa channel, and we've been with them before. They were at Lake Aquabi. And I commented that I had never been there. So they said next time they're going there, if I'm available, they're gonna invite me to go with them and they'll come pick me up. Now, we had a little melting yesterday and today. Yesterday it got up to 41 here. And today, I'm gonna grab another phone and check the weather. Today it got up to 37 here. And it's 22 degrees now. It's supposed to get up to, oops, sorry about that. Keep hitting this thing. 38 tomorrow, 48 on Tuesday. So more snow will melt here. We're not supposed to get any snow for at least until the next weekend. Yeah, if it melts, if you have a whole lot of snow and it melts super fast, and yet the ground is still hard, yeah, you're going to have a lot of flooding. That's good, Pete. Yeah, where I'm at, it's pretty good. Although there may be some dips in what I would call the front yard, the side of the building that faces the street. And I'm on that side, but I'm on the second floor. But the first floor, if there's too much rain too fast, some of the first floor apartments that have patios, they have sliders that you open to get out. There has been some flooding in there in the past, but with the reno going on, hopefully those have all been fixed so that they don't flood, and new sliders have been put in those apartments. Now, we have been in a drought for quite some time, although not as long as Wyoming or California. But we haven't had as much snow as we would usually get in the winter. And we're not supposed to get any, at least for another week. But it's supposed to cool down again after Tuesday. Yeah, that's my heat coming on again. But I don't think, at least not for the next week, it's supposed to be anywhere near as cold as it has been here a few times. Or the low temp has been below zero. So, I mean, it's like it gets colder, it gets warmer, it gets colder, it gets warmer. I mean, like, make up our minds. Yeah, there have been times where the grass in my apartment's front yard and in the park across the street, it looks like it's would be in the fall when the grass loses all of its chlorophyll. It looks like it was completely dead, but then next time it rained, it came back and greened up. And then after winter starts, it gets cold, and then We've had days where it warm up, the snow melts, and the grass is green. So figure that one out. And then it gets cold again. So we have had some very weird weather. Yeah, we do not have that here. I have never seen a city crew come and water the park. It's just a small city park that's across the street. It's like a 1-block square, and then that's it. But that grass doesn't get watered. Of course, our front yard for my building is just so small, and there are birch and sycamore trees on it, so it gets pretty shaded. Angry Blacksmith is here. Thanks for dropping in. All I have left of this 2013 menu 21, I'll correct that in the title later. I have 2012 in the title because I thought this is a 2012 like all the other ones that Aletha gave me, but I looked at the smoked almonds and that packet had a first digit of a 3 for the date code. That told me it's 2013. Oh yeah, there we go. More trash taken out. And I reported that bot. Because I'm on my phone, it takes a while for... I literally have to press on a comment before the little menu would pop up. And then I can select the action. So that's why you have moderators in your live chats, so you can have other people helping you take out the trash. But I will still report it. And if I'm in someone else's chat and I'm not a mod, and one of those bots come in, I'll report it. I don't know if it helps anything, but I do it. Yep, that's right. And the last time, I think I wanted to modify someone, but I couldn't make that selection. But tonight, I was able to do that. So I will probably I might modify a few more people later on, but yeah. Sean needs to do that for the Ration Museum stream. He has one mod, but he needs to add a few more. That way, if one mod can't be there, others can step in and take care of the trash. Well, there is a name I've never seen before. Yeah, I've been in chats like that, and that's just nuts. But for Chu, who just came in, I have been chowing down on this 2013 US MRE Menu 21. The title says 2012, but I did not know what it would be if it was definitely 2012, because this one was packed by the Warnick Company, and they do not put a date stamp on their ration bags. So if you're just handed some random MRE, you may not know when it was produced until you open it up and you look at the individual contents. So I just pulled back out the tortilla pouch. So this is for those that are not familiar with the MRE date codes. The first digit signifies the year. And this is a 285th day of 2012 was when these tortillas were packed. Can't be 22 because obviously we're only in February. So this is the almonds. The first digit was a 3 instead of a 2. So that told me that this was 2013. And this menu is no longer in existence, because menu 21 got changed to something else probably a few years after 2013. I don't know what current menu 21 is now. I would have to look on a list. But there's a site called MREinfo.com. There's Amberito in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So if you go onto that site, you can find for different years what each of the 24 US MRE menus were, what each of the 10 meal cold weather menus were. Those are the rations in the white bag meant for use in cold weather, because the main entree is freeze-dried instead of a wet pack. And it will have the years, which menus were in which year. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So Pete put current menu 21 is tuna instead of the chicken. But this chicken is a chicken breast that pulled apart very easily. It had grill marks like it was grilled. It was seasoned with a garlic seasoning. There was no flameless ration heater. It had tortillas, which tasted better than current tortillas, even though it's 9 years old. This is a carrot pound cake. It has nuts, but the nuts had not gone rancid because I'm still eating it. I have not gotten that numb feeling. It's quite dry, so I have to take a drink of something after I take a bite. This one did not have coffee, so I got my own coffee. Had the Cheez-Its were smashed to bits, but I still ate them. Had smoked almonds. And it has a chocolate dairy shake, which I thought was going to be a bit iffy, but once I mixed it up, very good. So that's what that is in there. Well, that's okay. You know, not everybody does it. I kind of fell into it sort of by accident because I started watching a few channels like Sticky Finger 745. He had a giveaway and I won it. And I decided that instead of just tearing it open and just eating it on my own, I would call it on my own, as in not on camera, I decided I was going to try my hand at reviewing it. So I got out my old Tupperware tray that I've had since 1983. And I used that. And then I got a few more rations and started doing it. I was doing it like once or twice a month. And then as I would get more, and sometimes I would get some sent to me, some would just send them to me, in addition to me buying them. And I've been doing it every week. At first I was just doing videos and uploading, but then I got into doing live streams, and because I've had computer issues, streaming was the way to go, so I could keep putting out these ration videos, but in a way that it would work. And so I've been streaming like Smokey does every Saturday, but I pick this time every Sunday. Yep, he doesn't do as many videos as he used to, I think, because he's busy, and of course, you know, he's got to do the dad thing. But I did a trade with him, and I sent him a Polish mess kit. And then he sent me one of those heater meals. But the one that he sent me, unbeknownst to him, was messed up on the inside, so I had to take time to clean it up. And some of it I could not salvage because it was just too far gone. One of the items had literally exploded, and it just got all over the other items in there. But that's okay because I took care of it. I cleaned it up, and I was able to eat some of it. A couple of the items in there, because of their packaging, were just too far gone. But now I have one of those Chef 5-minute meals. And that's a complete meal kit like the heater meals. So it's not just an entree, it's got some other things in there, so it's packed like a ration. And so I'm going to treat it as one. But it has everything on top of a little foam tray. Of course, I won't use that, but I won't throw that away either. I will keep that thing clean. And just like this spoon, I use my foreign MRE spork. So I keep all these spoons, I put them in a bag, and I store them. as part of my emergency supply so that if I have to conserve water, so instead of washing dishes every day, I could use the disposable things that I have collected. Then I can conserve my water for drinking and cleaning up what absolutely has to be cleaned up, to be sanitary. Oh, you like this tray? I found it on eBay, and it was sealed with 2 little cups. I keep those in my kitchen. Once in a great while, I might bring one of those out, but I don't really use those very often. So before I got this tray, I was exclusively using that Tupperware tray that I've had since 1983. So it has a little bit of staining on it from the curry and tomato based foods that I've had on it, but I still use it. After I got it, I did not use it until I went to an event where I had to bring my own tableware. So I took that tray, and I did that a few more times, but then I began to use it more regularly when I got into doing the ration reviews. Then I got this tray, that way I could switch off between them. So if I had something that has a huge main entree, put out a huge amount of food, say like the Norwegian Arctic field ration, then I would use that one. Or if I only have a couple other things to add, instead of like 3 or 4 sides or snacks or whatever, I would use that one. But if I have a lot of things that I want to open up, then I use this one. Or if the main is not very big, like tonight, the chicken, there's, that chicken breast was just one piece and not a larger amount of it. It's like half of what you would get if you get the chunk chicken, or that chunk chicken fills up the whole retort pouch, where this chicken breast only fills up maybe half. Oh, speaking of IMPs, I hope to get some of the newer ones. And there are some of the other ones in the paper bag that I still would like to try. And as much as some people probably diss it, I would like to try the poutine. I would like to try the shepherd's pie. Yeah, I watched some of his videos too, and then I heard about some others, like G. Schultz, Sticky Fingers, Smokey and some of the others that have been doing it for a while. RC Gusto. He's been so busy lately, at his hospital. I sure hope he finds time to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, Emmy Made, her channel used to be called Emmy Made in Japan. Now it's just Emmy Made. She still does ration reviews once in a while. Yeah, she does other food stuff, but she'll throw in a ration video every once in a while. And there are a few that used to do it that I wish they would start doing it again, like Old Mate Drop Bear. He hasn't done one for a while. Kiwi Dude, I watched him. There is Johnny, is a name I have not seen before. Welcome. This was a 2013 Menu 21. Now Menu 21 is tuna instead of the chicken. And like the tuna Menu 21, you do not get a flameless ration heater. There is no hot drink, no coffee, no cocoa. So I grabbed a coffee out of my stash. And it had tortillas, which actually tasted better than current tortillas. And the package just says tortillas and not tortillas plain like the newer ones, to distinguish from the chipotle tortillas. Apparently the chipotle ones were not in use in 2012, 2013. I'm not sure of that. I could be wrong. But the Cheez-It crackers are smashed to bits. And the chicken breast was actually seasoned very well. It came with oops, sorry, I got briefly disconnected. This is a salt-free seasoning. Doesn't want to focus. It's a seasoning blend, salt-free. And salt, so go figure. I don't know about Fred. I have not heard from anyone about him, so I don't know if he is just taking a hiatus or if something happened to him or his family or what. I have not seen him on. I mean, he frequented the Ration Museum streams. He was in Smokey streams, so I don't know anything about him, so I wish I did. Now, if he did go to an assisted living facility, I hope it's a good one. I hope that he is safe from the big nasty. You know, that stuff is still going around. Nathan of Nathan's MRE, he's got it. And Smokey had it. And some other Iowa YouTubers have had it, so they're still dealing with the after effects of it. Yeah. Polly, I was going to send something to him. I had saved some of those Polish or Lithuanian special biscuits because he liked to feed them to his rabbit. He could not eat them himself, but his rabbit really enjoyed them and could eat them. But, you know, after he passed, then I did a stream, and I pulled those special biscuits, and I said, I'll eat these in Polly's honor. He was big into Ration reproduction. He would get the cardboard and paper pieces, and he would literally make up Ration reproductions. And although he didn't smoke, he would buy a pack of cigarettes, and he would cut them down to the size to fit in a reproduction Ration cigarette pack. And if he did the caramels pack, he would buy caramels that are individually wrapped and then put them inside this reproduction caramel pack. And he would do the same with crackers or whatever he could. Plus, he did the model trains. He was a big train buff. Yeah, he loved going to the airport or the train station just to sit there. He would take a meal, have a meal out there, or maybe a snack and a drink. Yeah, Polly was he was good people, and he was always giving stuff to his mailman because his mailman was, you know, he liked the ration stuff too. So whatever Polly could not eat because of dietary restrictions, or he just, you know, for whatever reason, he would give those things to his mailman. Yeah, he was very enjoyable to watch. Yeah, and Nem of Nem's MRE, I have not seen anything from her for a while. Yeah, it was a Italian ration, and it was one out of the 4 versions that would have the cordial in it. That used to be in a glass bottle, and then they switched that up into a plastic tube, I guess to avoid glass breakage. Now, thanks for dropping in, Mike. But the one thing about the Italian rations, from what I've seen, the breakfast box is more non-food items than food items, which is kind of odd because you think you would want to have a pretty good meal to start the day. Instead of maybe just some crackers and jam or a bunch of candies. Yeah, the Italian rations, you get the full-size canned food, like a full-size can of soup, a full-size can of whatever, like a pasta thing, and a can of fruit. In Spanish rations, you get canned foods, but they're smaller. They're not the full, the commercial size cans like what you go out into a grocery store and buy. Although in some stores you can buy mini cans of vegetables and corned beef hash or whatever. But you get, at least in the Spanish breakfast item, you actually get some actual food, even if it's a bunch of biscuits and something to put on the biscuits. Or you might get a muesli. But you get more than just a few biscuits or a few candies for breakfast. But the stove in the Italian ration is one thing that I wouldn't mind getting my paws on. Even though they're not flat like what you'll get in the French, Spanish, or Lithuanian rations, where you have to fold it up. And definitely not as chintzy as the ones you would get in Russian rations. That little Spanish Espet type stove, that thing is pretty cool. Yeah, me too. I've only had a few, and I have not tried to order one since the last time I did, and it got raided. So all three of the meat items were taken out. The pate was a chicken pate, and then the other two, I think, were beef items, because it was one that did not have pork in it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered it. But all three of those meat items got taken out, and the little baby folding spork that's in the stove kit box, that was gone. Everything else is there, but I thought, dang, they even took that spork, even though I don't use it. I would have kept it and added it to my collection of ration utensils. But yeah, I didn't even get that thing. So I didn't even bother putting that one on camera. I just kind of broke it down, and I ate the bars, and I ate the biscuits, and I put the drink mix in my bag of ration drink mixes. Yeah, that's what I said when I was talking about it. And I contacted the seller. I sent pictures. No response whatsoever. So I'm not sure if I want to order from them again. I mean, some people say they have good luck with them, but I don't know what they do when one of the rations that they sell gets raided by customs when it comes in to the U.S. from their foreign supplier. Yeah, there's Blind Fox. For those that don't know, Blind Fox is all the way in South Africa. And it is springtime or summer there. So it's good to see a blind fox hanging out here. But those Ration Tech things that replace the other ones that used to be from Serac, those look pretty darn interesting. Yeah, some of those entrees look pretty darn good. I wouldn't mind getting my paws on a couple of those. I just finished off my coffee in my foreign MRE mug. Yeah, some of those do look pretty darn interesting. Oh, awesome. That would be nice to see what those are like. Yeah, it would be awesome too. Yeah, there's some rations that I would love to get a hold of. The Turkish rations that I've seen on a few channels, they have the pour over coffee. And I happen to have a couple of those where you open up the coffee bag, you stick the sides of this thing over your mug, and then you pour the hot water through it a little bit at a time. It's just like the water goes from the reservoir in your coffee maker and drips down through the coffee in your coffee basket. These pour overs work the same way. It's just one cup at a time. Yeah, they have, I've only seen a few different menus from a couple of different years. They're probably very hard to get a hold of. But they have olives in there as one of the items. And they always have tortillas, but you get like 6 tortillas. And you get a couple of the pour over coffees. And there are a couple other odd items that I can't remember from the last time I seen one, but it was a newer one in a different bag. They used to be in like a silver Mylar bag with labels slapped on it. But the latest one that I've seen, I think last month I saw it. It was in a green bag. And then Eats Treats and MRE, Sue over there on the other side of the pond, she has done some of these tactical food packs, and I've seen a few others get a hold of these. But they look like a civilian ration. I don't know if they're not. But those are freeze-dried entrees. I also want to try those Blah Band I think they're in the Swedish rations. I could be wrong, but Blah Band does the freeze-dried and the wet pack. And there are some new German EPAs that are in a bag instead of a box that I want to try. I've seen the halal ones on eBay. And I want to try some of the newer British ORPs that are either halal or they might have a specific area in mind where they might be used. Yeah, I did one German EPA it was not labeled as a military one, but it was exactly like a military one. It had all the components that you would find in a military ration, and it had those bags of drinking water, and I still have those bags. I never opened up any of those. I've decided to hold on to those. Because I figured, why waste something that could be part of my emergency water supply when I have access to tap water? Yeah, the off-road Polish ration, I tried to order that from a seller on eBay, but I was sent the gray shooter's ration instead. And I contacted the seller. I sent pictures of what I got. No response. So, no message saying, I could keep it or I need to return it or anything like that. But those off-road rations are still available on that, from that same seller, and I have them in my watch list. So I went ahead and reviewed that shooter's ration, and I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, it may be discontinued, but the seller still has them listed on his on his eBay account. So I may try again to order it. Yeah, that one is in the gray bag. But someone else had one of those off-road rations, and it has a glow stick in it. Has a couple of different items than in that shooter's ration that I would be very interested in seeing. And then Arpol has done a few other ones that I would be interested in trying. And Michael Green has put some of those up on his channel. Some of those civilian ones from Arpol, which is the ration packer in Poland. Yeah. There are a few, I think 5 or 6 menus of that shooter's ration at one time. Maybe next month I'll try again to order that off-road ration. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Blind Fox, and be looking forward to your next review. There are a bunch of, Blind Fox has a few of them queued up or in the process of filming those. And then they get released on, whenever just whenever they come up. And check out Blind Fox's channel. She uses an electronic magnifier thing to enlarge the print, the text on an item. But she does very good. And she can get these South African rations from the company that makes both civilian and military rations for South Africa. So she gets those, and she gets in other rations, US MREs, and there we go. Got that one. There, I hid that one. I was able to hide that one. Yeah, check out Blind Fox's channel. That's okay, Pete. I got that one. And I also reported it. Because that's just what I do. Yeah, I wish YouTube would do something about these bots. Speaking of Polish rations, I do have a Polish one that I may actually go ahead and do next. It's a beef goulash one. Now that Polish shooter's ration was a beef goulash one too, but I have the military one. So I may go ahead and do that one. I did a Lithuanian one last week. So I think I'll do the Polish one. Well, that should be interesting. Spicy tuna rolls. It'll be interesting to see what some of these little known things look like. I just finished off that chocolate shake. Well, since I'm just down to my raspberry drink, yeah, the gum looks in pretty good shape, although it looks like a piece got dented during manufacture. But I saved these little gum packets because I figure one of these days I might need something to chew on, either to hold, give me a couple of calories, or maybe use it as a breath freshener, or just have something in my mouth until I can eat a meal, or I could use it as barter. These salt and seasoning packets will go into my bag that I have of these things. And I keep all of these moist towelettes because you never know when you might have to rely on these things. And same with these rear rolls. SF stands for San Francisco. Yep, that's why I saved these. That's why I collect all these things. If a ration I get has a napkin in it, I save that napkin. I don't use it. I got these. And the straws from the Polish rations, because you get straws in most Polish rations. I don't use those either. I figure I'm using a glass or a drinking jar. I can save the straw for when I actually need it for something. So I have a supply of straws. And sometimes you get forks and plastic knives and rations. I keep those. And when I was at a meeting last month, we had a boxed lunch. We had lunch provided, and there were these utensil packs that have a napkin, plastic utensils, salt and pepper. All I wanted out of there was a napkin, and there were no loose napkins, so I grabbed that you could call it an accessory kit if it was from a ration or a pre-packed meal box. I got the napkin out of that, used that, and I brought those plastic utensils home and stashed them away. I even have a bunch of plastic knives that I brought home from my mosque because we use forks and spoons almost exclusively. Maybe knives for if there's going to be a party and kids would decorate cookies or use as coffee stirrers. Then we might use them for that because the way that we've done meals, we don't serve typical sandwich bread. It's always either rolls or some kind of a flatbread. That's more specific to, what the members are used to, because most of our members either come from other countries or are descendants from immigrants. So we keep it, relevant to what they're used to, what they like. And there's still a crap ton of knives, plastic knives there. There's probably over 5,000, I would guess. Most of those are just in a plastic tub. And then there's some other big bunches of them in just filled up bags. But we don't use them. People bring them thinking that we would use them, but nope. So I probably brought maybe 100 or so home. But that's all that I really cared to bring home. Yeah, we used to have an armor surplus store here in my area, but I never went over there. I heard about it, but I just never took a bus to go over there. I would have had to walk a few blocks, but I wouldn't have minded. But I heard sometime early last year, or maybe it was 20, that it closed. Or maybe it closed when, when all the lockdown started and they just never reopened. So I never got to go there. But thrift stores, sometimes you can find surplus. I've seen some uniform pants and shirts there. Someone bought a U.S. mess kit from a thrift store. I was in there. He beat me to it, but I didn't mind. but it looked like it was in pretty good condition. And it even had utensils inside it. Yeah, there would probably be more like this one. I mean, this is definitely not a military issue tray because there's nothing on here that says that it is. The bottom just says Made in USA. I just held this paper towel under there because I didn't want what was left of there to dribble down onto my table. But this one was made in the US, but there's nothing else on there. No NSN or national stock number. Just the company that made this actually manufactured it here in the US somewhere. Yeah, you would have to go to a military surplus store that knows their stuff. I've ordered a couple of things online, like from Verosteleka and I think Hessen Militaria. I've ordered a couple of things from them. But their stuff changes all the time what they have. So you'd have to keep looking on those sites to find out what they're going to have. But one site that I've never looked at, but I've heard about on some channels called Sportsman's Guide, they sell military surplus. So that might be another place to look for trays or any other surplus tableware. I do still have one of the round trays that looks like the one that Tracy Phillips has used. There were two of those in the thrift store that day, and I bought both of them. And I gave one to Steve Brahms, although that's his real name, and that's how he goes on YouTube. But everybody calls him Willie. So I refer to him as Willie, but someone gave him some MREs, so I gave him a tray. One of those round trays like the one that Tracy Phillips uses. So I have not used that particular tray. And lately I have been thinking about what am I going to do for my next giveaway, which I will have another giveaway. When I get to 1,500 subscribers, I will do another giveaway. I have a ways to go before I get that because I'm not, I'm just kind of holding above 1,100 right now, but I definitely will do a giveaway for my for 1,500 when I get there. Yeah, if you look on Tracy Phillips's channel, he uses a round tray that's got 4 sections in it. And I think he's the only one who has used a tray like that. I haven't seen anyone else use a tray like that. But I think he'll switch it up too. Oh, just keep plugging away at it, Blind Fox. One day you'll get there. It just takes time. But you're consistent enough. You're always putting out some good stuff. Your snack reviews and your food reviews of different things that are unique to South Africa. Those are really enjoyable to watch. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed yet to Blind Fox, go subscribe. And see all the interesting things that she's putting up. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good for now. Yeah, I'm almost done with my raspberry drink. Yep. I only did this in 13 ounces of water instead of 20 because I like these a little bit. I actually like to have the full flavor of it. And plus I don't feel like getting out my big Minotaur mug. And that thing is heavy, and that's the only thing that I have that is see-through that can hold that much water. Oh yeah, sure, I could pour it into something else, but I'd rather not. Maybe sometimes I'll get that one out, but that thing is heavy. But it does make an appearance once in a while. Yeah. But anyway, next week I'll do that that Polish ration and the other beef goulash one. And that will be a little bit different than the shooter's ration because it will not have some of the things that that one had. And it will not, it will not have a toothbrush in it, I don't think, but it will have a straw. It will have the coffee candy, which I love. That's my favorite coffee candy. I've tried some others, but that one is the best. But anyway, that one will be up next Sunday. So anyway, thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.